Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I want to talk to you about a couple of things in this video. Number one, the latest negotiations round and what is that leading to. Then Benjamin Netanyahu and his statements with regards to the withdrawal from the Philadelphia corridor and the Netzarim line in Gaza. Then I want to talk to you about the latest updates from Gaza and Israel's plans to build an Israeli Jewish synagogue in Al-Aqsa compound and risk destroying parts of Al-Aqsa mosque and build the third temple. I'm going to start off with the negotiations. Again, failure. Nothing has been accomplished. Hamas is not there. Egypt clarified to Israel that there is no negotiating on the Philadelphia corridor. You have to withdraw. They tried to come up, Israel, with this formula of withdrawing a couple of 100 meters from the Philadelphia corridor, only to reoccupy it at a later stage. That did not work, and the negotiations led to nothing. Simultaneously, we had a meeting from Israel with the Israeli Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, and Benjamin Netanyahu with some of the representatives of the families of the Israelis who were kidnapped in Gaza. With regards to Yoav Gallant, he told them, I told you 1.5 months ago, all of the conditions have ripened to reach a deal, and that situation is still as it is now. So to Yoav Gallant, there are all the conditions to reach a deal and have a ceasefire. Netanyahu responded to that by saying, I don't care what the Ministry of Defense says. I do not want to withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor. What's new is that Benjamin Netanyahu elaborated why he doesn't want to withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor. His reasoning is, if they withdraw now from the Philadelphia corridor, it would be very difficult to reoccupy it again, and it would be next to impossible with the level of pressure that they will be facing. So to him, they cannot withdraw now because they cannot handle further pressure following that if they want to reoccupy the Philadelphia corridor again. And he is even talking about a temporary withdrawal. So the talk was a withdrawal guaranteed for 6 weeks, which is exactly the time of the first phase. It's split into 3 phases, 6 weeks, then 6 weeks, then further 6 weeks, if there's an agreement, of course. However, this is why Benjamin Netanyahu elaborated that he does not want to withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor, and we have no progress when it comes to the ceasefire. Nothing is looking like it's going to bring it any closer, and with Benjamin Netanyahu still in power, it's almost impossible to reach a ceasefire. That's why you have more Israelis in the opposition saying our mission now is just to take down Benjamin Netanyahu. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is Gaza. Today, Al-Qassam brigades, the armed wing of Hamas, they had an attack on a building that had 23 Israeli soldiers in it. They attacked it with a TBG and another missile and documented it with direct and confirmed hits. This is one of the biggest attacks of Hamas in the past 10 months, signaling that they are still strong, monitoring Israel above and below the ground, and having full capabilities, full freedom of movement in Gaza, and their intelligence levels when it comes to the Israeli forces is very high. They're very sophisticated with them targeting the Israeli forces, and Israel has no place in Gaza where they are established with comfort. So even when you talk about the Netzarim line, the command base was hit. Likewise with Rafah on the Philadelphia corridor, the command base was hit, and in many cases multiple times, not just attacks with mortars and missiles, but direct confrontations, some of the Palestinian fighters invading these areas and targeting the occupation forces in them. Which leads me to another very important development. Israel is carrying out more strikes, airstrikes in the West Bank. Israel had conducted operations in the West Bank that haven't been seen in the past 20 years. And today they had a strike on the Nur Shams refugee camp where they killed 5 people. They had other reports about an Israeli being kidnapped in the Jordan Valley. However, there is a lot of censorship around that. So things are escalating further and further in the West Bank. And that's something that some figures in the Israeli establishment, including the defense minister, warned from. However, they are still enabled, protected by the army and protected by the state. The final thing that I want to talk to you about is the latest statement coming from the Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir. Itamar Ben-Gvir is asking to build an Israeli Jewish synagogue in Al-Aqsa compound. This is coming simultaneously with a statement from the previous Israeli MK Moshe Feiglin, who said that all of us need to be looking at Jerusalem, at Al-Aqsa compound, because this is the main thing. This is the historical place. This is why these people are fighting us. And instead of us going on fighting all of these fronts, we need to finally establish the third temple in Al-Aqsa. These people have a big following. These people are in power, especially in the case of Itamar Ben-Gvir. And they have been going to Al-Aqsa and praying in Israel. Usually takes it step by step. They start praying to legitimize presence, and then they require part of it, and then they ask to ban Muslims from praying, which leads to the destruction of parts and rebuilding. The temple in Israel already has plans to build the third temple in Al-Aqsa and destroy parts of Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is a very dangerous escalation. And again, you're talking about Arab and Muslim states surrounding Israel that are asleep and not aware of the level and scale of the actual threat to take down the third holiest site in Islam and the first direction of prayer to Muslims.